So proud was Nyabera of her new name that when she went back to Imbo, she insisted that both her mother and child call her Maria, and Maria she became to them, and later to her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She was the first of a kind, and her achievement was placed at par with her mother's famous journey to appeal to the DO and the DC, and both were placed in the realm of the mythical. Maria, Maria, tell us about the angel and Maria, piped her daughter Awite, now 8 years old, and her nephew Owor, aged 10. Tell us about the escape to Misri. Tell us about the bad king Herodes. Yes, tell us. The children loved stories surrounding the birth of Yesu Christo. Their grandmother sat quietly in the background, smiling enigmatically from time to time. Maria, watching her closely, could only gaze her actual thoughts. 6 months later, when Maria started showing signs of restlessness, she longed to go back to the mission. Her mother spoke. "My child." "Yes, mother. I have heard the longing in your voice when you speak of Allure." She knew her daughter so well. "Yes, mother, it is true. I feel like an uprooted tree which cannot reach soil or water. Far be it from me to put obstacles in your way, for this new way sounds very good. However, you are unlike me, still a young woman. You need children. From what I see, this is not going to be possible with this new religion. What are you going to do?" Her mother, listening and never asking questions, had gone with one stroke straight to the heart of the problem. It is the way of two souls caring for each other as deeply, if undemonstratively, as these two did. Maria was quiet for so long that Akoko almost regretted having asked the question, but she had never been one to back away, however sticky the problem. Eventually, she spoke. "Mother, your words have reached deep within me. I can hide nothing from you, even now that I am an old woman. I thought about this at length, and I know that this is where I might fail. Denying it is no use. You have spoken only the truth. What can I do except place myself at the feet of the Mother of God who lived with Joseph in purity? I cannot and will not anticipate the future. And Mother, I had hoped to take you and the children with me, for I am very lonely. I know you will live as a poor person, for you cannot take this wealth with you. But at least you will be away from the cutting tongues of your sisters-in-law, for when all is said and done, you are living in exile. You will never belong. Well, there, everybody is welcome. Nobody asks which clan one comes from. Please, come with me, mother." When her daughter had finished her spirited plea, Akoko burst out laughing. "What is so funny, mother?" "Ah, child, I thought you'll never ask. Of course, I will come with you." Mother and daughter made their preparations in haste. The children were excited. Olo was downcast, for he had enjoyed having his sister around, much to the annoyance of his wives, but he was the first to admit the untenability of her position. Eventually, all was ready. It was not much, for it is fully to weigh oneself down either mentally or physically when moving from one life to another. They carried their sleeping skins, a meal of ugali cooked in sour milk to eat on the way, and as the only reminder of the old life, a pot of ghee. Now, ghee is a rich man's food, for it is made from boiled butter. The two women decided that since the children had known nothing but plenty, their hearts would become faint if they had to eat the bitter herbs of the poor without so much as a drop of oil to ease it down. As in all their lives, they had eaten those herbs always cooked in milk and laced with ghee, so they carried the pot of ghee to help ease their way into the new life. It had taken Maria about 12 hours from dusk to dawn to reach Allure, but with the children to slow their pace, for they had to stop every 2 hours to rest, they did not reach it until well after dusk. They walked in a single file with Maria in the lead, the two children alternating in the middle and Akoko in the rear. The children were the future, and the future had to be protected. To keep them distracted, Akoko told them stories of the heroes of old and the history of the tribe, and Maria told them the adventures of baby Jesus, or whatever stories she could remember from the Old Testament. Daniel and the lions, Elias, the man who went to heaven on a bicycle, the great friendship of David, and Jonathan. When it came to telling a story, Maria was unequaled even by Akoko. She made happenings of long ago appear like things of yesterday, and she spiced everything with such wit that even the most mundane story became alive. Daudi was a boy who was handsome of face and brave of heart. Because he was the last born, his job was to look after the sheep. One day, a lion came and grabbed a little lamb. Daudi ran after the lion and hit him on the rump. The lion was so surprised that the lamb dropped out of his mouth and ran bleating to its mother. The lion got so angry that he turned on Daudi. Daudi gripped his beard and plunged his sword into the lion's heart. So brave and good was he that God chose him to be king. You must be brave, for to be a coward is an insult to God and man. Jonathan was the son of the king and would have been king if God had not chosen Daudi in his stead. But he was not bitter, for he could see why. Daudi had a soul as pure as spring water and as brave as a lion. Jonathan loved him with all his heart. One day, the old king wanted to kill Daudi, but Jonathan warned him just in the nick of time. My children, we should try to be friends to our friends like Jonathan was to Daudi. If you have a worthy friend, a rare thing, never spare yourself for him. Eventually they trudged weary and footsore into the little lonely hut, spread out their sleeping skins with the light of the moon, and fell into an exhausted slumber, secure in the knowledge that what is good never comes easy, and what is good is worth every single struggle. Outside, the moon gleamed and the stars glittered in the inky sky. The African night resounded with the songs of the crickets and the croaking of frogs. The fireflies flitted here and there, giving themselves completely to the joys of their short lives. There were mysterious shufflings and scratchings, busy sounds of the night animals in search of food and companionship, their concerns fixed only on the requirements of the moment.